Afternoon and welcome to what I'm now calling this week's edition of Monday's Musings, because let's face it, that's what this energy is all about. So every Monday I will turn up and do a reading for the collective energy, and what comes through is almost like a meeting of several different energies, musing on what is going on and how to best, postman's just turned up at my door, how to best apply that with relevance to whatever it is we are experiencing individually. So welcome to Monday's Musings, and this isn't the first time I've recorded today's message. I've just got back from a walk with my wolfhound, and I had recorded a video for the energy this week with the use of the tarot and everything, and looked at every day separately and looked at several areas that had come to light from last week. You know, regaining our health, regaining that spark for life, knowing when to act, when not to act, what to share, what not to share, knowing where we were, and letting go of what wasn't relevant anymore. You know, we learn from things, we grow from things, and we then move on to what is trying to come through next. And that was very much the message for this week, taken with humility. Yeah, knowing when to let go, okay, and what to, I want to say bypass. That's the words I want to say. Bypass, to go around, to not get involved with. So, coming back from the walk with my dog, what I clearly kept getting was, let go of the video you've just done. And my ego was like, well, I've just done 45 minutes of a reading. It's just taken umpteen amount of time to download and record and get together so that I can share it. And all these excuses, and it was all these rationales, shall we say. Let's be compassionate here. We don't make excuses, we make rationales, we make reasons to stay in the safety of whatever it is we are doing because of it being comfortable. That is not the emphasis this week. And for those that have been feeling it with last week's new moon, it isn't about being comfortable. It isn't about overstretching ourselves, but it is about learning to just push things a little bit further. And by things, I mean ourselves. Okay. So the clear message that I kept getting was to get rid of this video. This video had talked about change. It had talked about that's how collectively it was what we were striving for and to embody what we were trying to achieve. And even in the video at one point, I did say my very words were, I need to embody this energy first. And I just did on a walk. So that was then. I'm going to, as the video suggested, walk my talk. That video was then. This is now. This is where we are. 4/4 portal at 12:34 in the afternoon UK time. The rain has stopped. My dog has been walked. I can now give this energy my full attention, which was the other thing that came through in the reading. You know, we can want really deep, insightful answers to things that could change our life. And we're willing to give them 5 minutes to find out because we want it now. And it's not about the time that we give, but the presence. So we can do a reading, but be aware that we need to do X, Y, and Z. And our energy isn't giving the reading the authenticity, the connection, and the sacredness that it deserves, and you will only get a certain level matched back. So it's the difference between survival intuition and psychic intuition and seer intuition, and it's a connection of bringing them all together. So we feel what we feel, we become aware of what we feel, we connect to the higher guidance behind that, and then we look at what we're going to do with this information. And that's where I can feel it. It's one thing to feel, it's another thing to heal. It's something else completely to become the very thing that we've been made aware of and shift from. Okay, so these insights, these synchronicities, these musings, if you will, are for a reason. What we take from it is individual, but ideally, with these readings, it is about looking at what's going on, what we feel energetically, the higher message behind it, and what we are being collectively asked to do. in response to that. So welcome again to Monday's Musings, something that has only just come to me because I've let go of the old energy. I can really feel that in my sacral. And there's a heaviness there, like almost ready to be born. And that is the energy that I feel. If we can release what once was, the heaviness of what is about to come in is purely showing us that we are ready to do something about it. Okay, so a lot of us can instinctively, from a survival point of view, go back to old behaviors or old ways of doing things. There's no judgment there, but if we want a different outcome, we need to look at adjusting how we get that. When we release what no longer works for us with gratitude for all it has taught us, we then open space for something new. But it is about having the patience to hold that open space for the new to come in. So now, as you can see, we are on Monday's Musings. So what are we going to do on Monday's Musings? Well, we are going to look at the tarot, and we are going to look at any insight collectively this week, and it be for this week. That feels very important as well. Often we look at energy, and what we're actually looking at is a bigger picture, which is beautiful. But it is about being very specific with what we want insight on. This is a communication. This is co-communication with our higher self, with spirit, with source, whatever you want to call it, our emotions. So what is it we are trying to actually find out? Be specific with that and recognize how big a thing we're actually asking to find out and apply that. Because if we are looking at energies or being distracted, rather, pulled apart by further energy fields, it's very difficult to be present in this moment, as you can see from my own energy. So what are we going to do about that? We are going to look at what is in front of us. Okay. Right. So this week, what insights are in front of us and how are we being asked to navigate them? And it doesn't matter who you feel is asking you to navigate them. It could be your higher self, it could be source, it could be the collective. Don't spend too much time on trying to figure that side of it out. You'll know what you're co-creating with and when you're co-creating because of how it feels, and it will feel, that's the other thing that's coming through for the Monday Musings, clear, direct. It is about looking at what energy you want to portray now and standing in that, holding space for that energy. So for me, from now on, Monday's Musings are clear and direct. Insight, guidance is clear and direct. It doesn't need to be long and drawn out. It can actually be weakened. The more synchronicities we look for comes from a place of not quite believing what we're seeing in the first place, which is fine. But if we really want to move forward with our intuition and our clarity, which a lot of people seem to be seeking for, it is about keeping it clear and direct. Okay, so clear, direct energy this week. What's going on and how to best navigate it? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, overall. And I want to look at the overall energy, really. The rest of the cards feel like if we need to break it down, we can. But really it is about looking at what's going on overall this week. And we have the 8 of Swords and the Wheel. And underneath, just peeking out underneath, we have the 10 of Pentacles, the Tree of Life. Very much this week, the energy feels like looking at where we are imprisoning ourselves. And it does mean that several bubbles are going to be burst. Okay, there's something very safe in saying we can't do something about such and such, we can't do something about such and such. But what that does is put us in a protective bubble where we don't need to stretch, where we don't need to grow, where we can almost point fingers at outside causes. I've got this, I've got that, this happened. Now, that's not to say don't have compassion there, obviously, but it is to say be mindful that this week some of those illusions are going to pop. Okay, some of those things are about to be burst because it is the sack. We are ready to be born. We are ready to deliver our potential, and some waters may need breaking this week. Some may break of their own accord, and it may come from this built up pressure of feeling like it is all too much. Now, when the pressure builds, that's when the waters do break. So just really sitting with that, knowing that it is part of the change. It is part of things opening up. We are, as you, I mean, this is obviously Saturn, but I think it's Saturn. It looks like a number 4, regardless. Okay, and we are part of this 4-4 portal right now, and it is squashing us. It is squashing us, it is stretching us, and it is asking us to create that change. And that does mean really, really looking at where we are with the 10 of Pentacles on our own tree of life. Okay, what path are we actually on? And we can find that out by looking at the patterns in our past. But what I really hear is the patterns helped us get onto the tree of life. They're not our path. Our patterns are not our path. What have you discovered from all your journeys so far? With gratitude and a rites of passage, celebrate them and move on to the path you are actually here to walk. Okay. So let's go back, let's break that down, because that's quite poof, although that is how the energies are going to be from now on whether that's individual, collective, it will be so for me. And that feels poignant. What energies do you feel more drawn to? We've learned a lot of things over the last few years about why we may have avoided those energies, how we may have been hurt by those energies, how we may have kept them in our shadow. One of mine is directness. And it does come through quick, and it does come through fast, and it is more clear, and it is more to the point. And I've struggled with that, believing that that may lack compassion. And I've done the journey with that, and it has helped me get onto the path. The path for me isn't about all of the compassion, it's about what I have learned as a result of it. So today, Monday, celebrating, we have the 3 of Cups. Let's break it down for those that may need it. Celebrating what has come up for you. Now all these masks are taken off. Now that we've united our masculine and our feminine, and we've shown our true colors with the peacock, and we've adorned ourselves with who we are, what is it we can actually celebrate from this place? Take a good look at ourselves in the mirror with acceptance, and this is who I am, and yeah, I'm about to celebrate this. Really, really looking at that, because when we celebrate who we are, we don't repeat the past lessons, we don't jump ahead to the future, we are in the moment, we're celebrating presence, and that's when change naturally occurs anyway. Okay, think of childbirth. When we are actually in that moment, rather than worrying about being the mother we're going to be, or thinking, gosh, I'm only X, Y, and Z dilated, and I have hours to go, and how much more can I take? When we're in that moment of, I'm about to be a parent, or I'm about to create something, or something is coming in, or look at what I'm doing, the changes occur anyway. So, with that in mind, on the Tuesday, when we celebrate life on the Monday, we have the High Priestess. We have that chance to really go within and gain our own wisdom now, our own strength. And that is the ultimate stage, isn't it, of any creativity, knowing that it is down to us. It may not always feel nice, but that empowerment of knowing that it is down to us to find our answers. It doesn't matter what we see on a card with a stranger reading it to us, or what synchronicities outside. What is it saying to us? And celebrating the uniqueness of that, celebrating the message of that this week in particular. What one card says for one can mean something else, and what it says for someone else can mean something completely different. And when we finally realize that, when we realize that the guidance isn't always the same for us all, that bubble is burst. Yeah, all labors are different, all paths are different, all creativity is different. It's not supposed to be the same as everybody else's. So on the Wednesday, we move on to the Palace of Wands. Okay, and on the Wednesday, we could be distracted by what we actually want. And that's quite good, actually. Where is the relevance of all of this? Because on the Wednesday, I personally can see, gosh, is that the house I'm looking for? Because we're looking to move. Okay, but it's okay to then take the wisdom that you have gained and apply it to your own questions, your own insights. And I really, really feel that. And I feel almost reconnecting. We're talking about the Palace of Wands. So we're talking a younger energy with the palace, and we're talking fire here. So really reconnecting to the stability that comes from the joy of connecting to our spirit and that wisdom, rediscovering our communication and how we do it and how we create. Because right next to that on the Thursday, we have the Ace of Cups, being open to a new way for us now. Yeah, but recognizing A, for it to be new, it needs to be new, and B, for us to receive, we must be open. Simple, just simple. Or is it? Because on the Friday we have the moon. On the Friday we have that backwards and forwards of, wow, again, it's the bubble bursting, it's the mirror smashing, it's the illusion. Well, we thought we were this, this, and this, and that means what we wanted isn't relevant, and where we are isn't relevant. And welcome to parenthood. Welcome to the delivery of what it is you've been creating. Everything you know suddenly is no more. Yeah, and it is about finding that new way, that balance now within you, finding your own truth, finding your own reflection this week. On the Saturday, we have the Ace of Coins. When we stand in that strong enough in our actions, when we can support that knowing that, well, we're talking our physical connection to this earth, when we can support that in our actions, when we walk our talk, when we say, okay, I want to be clear and direct, I want clear, direct answers, then stop questioning the answers that we get and confusing them. When we want to be open and receive, stop closing down to what it is we want to receive. There's a real emphasis here of walking our talk. So for argument's sake, the video before this very much was about embodying a new energy. To do that, I need to let go. So that video is no more. And yes, I can be frustrated. Yes, I can think, oh, maybe I should have shared that. Maybe it would have resonated. I trust that guidance. Trust the insight that you are having to support you forward now. Okay, really, really connecting to it, grounding in the wisdom that is coming through for you. I really feel that in my jaw. I do have an abscess on the right side of my jaw, and the message behind it was very much about gritting my teeth and bearing down. But this is strength as well. Our teeth are our strength. It's why many tribes will wear teeth around in jewelry and adorn themselves with the strength of the animal they have caught it from. Our teeth are our strength. Believing in our strength now, believing in our ability to manifest what it is we need to keep growing. Because on the Sunday, we then have the Eight of Wands. It doesn't feel like there's any more to be said about that. Look at all the color, look at all the energy that is coming through. Look at yourself for this aligned spirit that you are on the Sunday. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cards. 1, 2, 3 major arcanas, beautiful support there from the universe, from the fates. 1, 2 cups, beautiful balance. There, the 3 of cups and the Ace of Cups. So really celebrating what it is you are receiving right now, which can be difficult. I don't want to celebrate an abscess on my tooth. It hurts, you know, and there are certain things that are very difficult to celebrate, but it is about celebrating the wisdom behind it. So this is my wisdom tooth. And it is movement in that area of my jaw, you know, and it's causing a reaction in my body. That's what happens when we upgrade, when we evolve, when we change, when we shift. Celebrating the messages of our physical vessel for the wisdom that they are giving us, and receive that. Receive it and act on it. It's one thing to be told or guided to rest from our physical body. It's another thing to then run around and ignore those messages. Okay, so if we want that clear communication, it is about listening and responding with what it is we are hearing. Beyond survival intuition here, beyond the 5 basic senses, further. That comes from our actions. Okay, so then we have, and it may be there that the bubble becomes pierced, okay, with our mental attitude. It may be then that we end up looking at why we don't follow our path, why we don't take on board our own guidance. Okay, and that will be what will break the emotional waters needed this week to deliver what is trying to come through. So we then have 1 sword card, which is the 8 of Swords, and it is about freeing ourselves now, freeing ourselves from the mental, I want to say institutes that we have put ourselves in. I need to do this a certain way because of X, Y, Z, freeing that now. And we have one wand card, again, really connecting to our own spirituality, our own drive, our own ambition, our own fire, our own passion this week, and one pentacle card. So just gorgeous balance there with that new beginning, with how we connect physically and spiritually, and celebrating that union. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And obviously we have the high priestess. And I want to say obviously, and I'm looking at the wheel, obviously we have the high priestess and the wheel. We have those energies. I'm trying to think what the other major arcana was, and that the moon, right? That feels quite important. We have the high priestess and the wheel at any given point. We have all of them at any given point, but really drawing on our intuition to create that change. That feels like the emphasis this week. And the card that I wanted to remember was the moon, was the illusion, was the emotions. Not seeing our emotions as illusion anymore, but seeing them as a valuable, fundamental aspect of our intuitive knowing, our survival intuition, but just taking it that little bit further by deciding to commit and respond to what we are being guided to do, by acting on our intuition, taking it up to the next level now. So Monday's musings, there you go, 21 minutes. Let's have one card overall. We have the, okay, we're going to have two of cups and strength. Okay, so really standing, year of the tiger here, really standing in our ability to connect to our intuition and know what is right for us. Believing it enough, not by making others believe it or by proving a point to others or getting it out there or standing and defending in it, but by acting from it, having the strength to commit to the intuition that we are feeling this week. And I feel that in my chest. I can feel like a lot of clearing occurring or needing to occur in the chest, in the heart. And awareness is key here. Awareness is key. Everything that is happening, no matter what it feels like, is about expanding our heart coherence now, understanding and connecting to our heart. Take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I shall see you with next week's Monday's Musings. Take care.